Hello and welcome to the unofficial Virginia and Truckee channel on YouTube. And I wanted to tell you about a visit I made to the V&T in early May of 2019. You see some of these pictures I took. You'll notice the 18 is getting back into action. And at the end of this video, after we look at some snapshots and look at some sad news, we will talk to Luke, who is the guy that's in town. That's Luke on the left there, and Dan on the right are in town from Oregon working on the locomotive. It's pretty exciting to see the 18 come back into action. A lot of people ask about it, and Luke will give us some details. I always like to throw a couple of shots in of the D4 here as well. I like that paint scheme, even though it's not traditional Virginia and Truckee. I forget which railroad it came from, but they kept this part of the original scheme. There's another shot of the 18 with that big spotlight on the back of it. And a little better shot of the side. You can see that it needs the, I always call it cladding. I forget what Luke calls it, the jacketing. I forget. We'll find out in the video. There's the old D1 with the guy named Robbie. And Luke here really likes trains. That's a tattoo on his wrist. And let's take a quick look. Founder Bob Gray died at 97. It's pretty sad. They christened this locomotive, the 29, in his name several years back. And everybody really misses Bob and really appreciates his accomplishment in bringing back the Virginia and Truckee. Now we can see Luke and Dan working a little bit here. They're up there in the firebox, and not the firebox, I forget the right name for it, sorry. Those guys are steam experts, not me. Anyways, yeah, you see Dan gives me a quick look there like, what are you doing with that camera? Okay, well let's go ahead and jump into a little bit of a discussion with Luke here. Okay, well, let's make this easy on you. Who are you and what are you doing here?
I'm Luke Johnson from Toutle Valley Locomotive Works, and we're putting the 18 back together.
Cool, we're done. Wait, can you give us, people want to have a little detail. You think it's going to run this year?
Oh yeah.
Cool. And what are you guys working on?
Putting the superheater header in and putting superheater units in and the branch pipes, putting the front end back together.
So is there, like, just within a minute, I don't want to take too much of your time, but is there something you could just point out to us that, like, what you're working on? It's all up in the front of the locomotive?
Yeah, well, those superheater units sit down there right next to Tom Gray. We just got done lapping all those, and they're ready to.
Oh, very cool.
Ready to be installed.
So what do those actually do? Just for people like me that don't know much about steam.
They go from the throttle down the dry pipe into the header, back through the superheater flues, and get reheated to make it a superheated locomotive.
Cool. And just like one last thing, and I'll let you go here. I mean, you got to put the cladding back on. I mean, what's the main? Like, if there's like 3 steps, you can say we got to do these 3 big things. What is it?
The front end back together, and then the jacketing. The jacketing actually goes pretty quick.
Jacketing, is that the right word?
Yeah,
okay.
The jacketing and the legging, that goes pretty quick.
Okay.
But
and anything else that's a big step?
Just all the little leaks and all the stuff after it's all put back together, and you go put 2 pipes together, and there's a couple inch gap because something's not rotated right.
Okay, cool. Well, I appreciate it, man. You're a lot more articulate than this guy over here. All right, thanks a lot, Luke. You have a great day. See ya. Thanks a lot.